Another day. Change everything. Hi, I'm Dashin, and this is a true story, true events. Every single thing I say is the truth, but it's a little scrambled of the way I remember it, okay? And it's pretty fast and quick, just to cram it into this computer. This is my real life. My real life. Nothing you can do about it, whether you believe it or not. There is nothing you can do to change my experience with this. But you can add on to helping me understand and perceive what's happening. You could help me with that. Because, I'm in this world. It is real to me just as anybody else, So this is my experience because I made it happen, because I am psychic by choice. I choose to be psychic. And it's has brought me the most amazing experiences. Like seeing Jesus, angels, and demons and everything. So here's some stories. One of my favorite flourishing times of being psychic. And I was highly fucking excited about it, and it was a struggle, but I did it. And this is how amazing it is. So let me tell a story. Okay. Maybe in the next video or this video. I'm just gonna get this in this video. This is this true story, okay? Okay. No. Going to my friend's house, blah, blah, blah. And everything was about being in the field of supernatural, just being spiritual, just being one with God, and knowing that I'm fucking supernatural, and let's hit this shit. I'm on patrol. I'm going to look for people to do psychic readings on. I can read anybody. I know all your secrets, and I can just laugh about it, because I do that, and I can see when people are dead, alive, because this is my perception of reality. It is a crazy perception, I noticed, because everyone else I've ever met was slow and an idiot and inconsiderate and never paid attention to what was really going on inside. Fucking shallow losers. Everything else is stupid. Greedy motherfucking rejects. I cannot believe it. Ugh, everyone's a disgusting filthy human. Yuck. Anyways, that's just how I feel sometimes, or whatever. Or right now, I guess, maybe. Okay, well, paper persistent is all wrong. Wrong. Stupid. The only thing you can do is get facts and experience. That's the only fucking thing that you can get in this reality. You to tell the truth. The truth. The truth. The truth. I've got proof. I've got proof. Okay? Okay, but this is what I have right now is the stories. So, whenever I show you that proof of more things, you'll know that all these true event stories are true. Exactly. Okay? Okay. Just wanted to let you know. Waste my time there. Okay, I'm about to... I'm Dashton. This is my story amongst the living. It's a true story, whether you like it or not. It's my experience. You can't change it. So, here it goes in choppy form. Stories. Multiple stories of this haunted house and my psychic abilities. Yeah. So here we go. Okay. I went to my friend's house where amazing things happened. Okay? Okay. Well, anyways, here we are. I was with my best friend ever in the whole world. Ta-da. But she went to, my glorious friend went to sleep. And I was up with these friends of ours. And I was like, well, I'm psychic, and we just got back from the mall, and I was just psychic readings at the mall, I guess. And I was like, hey, and I was talking to this tourist, and I gave her some psychic readings, and I could read her, and I was like, oh, I see you when you were like a child, and almost like a child, well, younger, and when you were in 7th grade or something, you were hanging out with this girl, and how y'all met or something, sort of, and y'all used to hang out here and there, and there was this guy, and you were inside this car that you played in all the time. I mean, like, literally, I was saying it correctly, but I don't remember all that stuff, but I remember some of it that I was reading off her, and it was all true, and I was like, it was fabulous, right? Right. And it was cool on a Taurus, and yeah. And on the Sagittarius, it's always more readable because she's Virgo rising, and so I'm like, oh, let's come in here and let's talk. Well, there's a lot of things that I'm going to say on camera because that's only for secrets. But, like, about the psychic rings I've had done on her because, hey, we just got secrets. Okay. Anyways, well, I was doing psychic rings on her, but I forgot what it was about. But anyways, she went into this bedroom, where my glorious best friend was sleeping, and, well, I walked in there, you see, and, this is me walking in there, and in the dark, I saw this chick behind, my friend sleeping, and my friend standing by the bed, trying to get my friend to wake up or just to talk or whatever, and I was like, oh, oops, sorry, my bad. I felt like I walked in on something, like, personal, like, the spirit between her and her, because I thought everyone could see this, and I thought this is always happening. Well, but, these things don't just normally happen. But it was just a bald girl. I'm like, oh my God. After that, I told her when we got into this other room, I was like, I just saw this bald girl around you in that bedroom and floating above you and stuff. And she's like, oh, really? What did she say? And I was like, she didn't say anything. I was like, I felt like, oops, I walked in on you going to the bathroom or something, but really it was just, oops, a spirit's there. That's how I kind of felt, like, oh, it's personal. And she was, oh, really? What did she look like? And I was like, well, she was kind of like this and that. I don't remember. But she's bald. I'm like, what? Why didn't God give her hair back? I was like really traumatized. And then she goes, oh, that was a girl that I know from church. She died of cancer. She was going bald when she was going to chemo and yada yada. Oh, really? Wow. Well, I saw her floating above you. And I would have talked to her, but she was just staring at you and her friend sleeping. It's so interesting and weird. And then what else other things happen? Oh, another story. Oh, let's go hang out. Let's go to the graveyard. Let's go. Yeah. And I was giving her a psychic reading, and oops. Oh my God, I accidentally, oh no, did I kill it? Oh my God, we got out. I hit a bunny rabbit. And she carried it inside. It was so sweet. And then we took out its organs and did a spell. And with it, so we wouldn't waste its death, accidentally. I never killed anything before, and I felt so bad, so we had to make this bunny's life mean something, you know what I'm saying? And we did, and it was sweet. And then, we were walking through the graveyard, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to sense how they died or whatever. I wonder how they died. did these people drown in this car? Like, so-and-so. She's like, oh, yep, that's true. Almost all these people in this graveyard has drowned because of the flood. Oh, wow. This is cool. It's like first time talking to the dead through looking at their grave site. But I do talk to dead people. Da, 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 da. You know, we were having fun, and there was upside down pentagrams on those cemetery stones for real. And you know, there's so many like lightning bugs there with one of my best friends. Like all that was there, all these lightning bugs. They're so fun. Anyways, that's what aside the point. Anyways, like, but we would do psych readings, and I saw Jesus with her and stuff, and all that good stuff. And I'd always see all kinds of stuff. We'd go swinging, and I'd give her psychic readings all the time. And those were the best times of my life. I always like to want to go back to that park and relive it, or whatever, or the school, or wherever we go swinging. Because life is so good, amazing when you're swinging. And it's amazing life. This is a true paranormal activity that happened to me, and I did psychic readings and stuff. And I would always do psychic readings on her, and then we'd go to the mall, and I'll do psychic readings on those people, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm right about this, that, and then, you know, there was this Libra dude, I did a psychic reading on. It was true. He's like, yeah, read my mind. Yeah, read my mind. And it was in front of a group too at the mall. And I was like, he's like, yeah, what? And this actually worked. I mean, I didn't know it would work this good, but I was very, very psychic, and on the ball. So it was working for me then. Okay. And I was like, he's like, what's my favorite band? I was like, and I heard his voice in his head say, Pink Floyd or whatever. I'm like, it's Pink Floyd. And he's like, yeah, that's actually that's my favorite band. I'm like, really? Really? Why? I mean, that's like almost everybody's so generic. And, generic, whatever. I don't even know anything about music. I just know Avril Lavigne and that's it. Alanis Morissette and whoever. Metal OTAP, yeah. Okay, whatever. And, I just like things that sound good. Yeah. Okay. And he's like, and I'm like, is your mother look like this with glasses, long hair, blah, blah. Yes, yes, yes. And then I gave all his friends psychic readings and him. It was just really, really great time in my life being psychic. But nothing got on camera. And I'm mad about it. So I want to try to get every little skit of what happened and what I did. Oh yeah, there was this one time for Railsers. I was with my cousin at the mall. And it was so amazing. Because she got to witness my psychic readings for reals. Actually, I was doing psychic readings and I was outside and here was my cousin, you know, and I was like, watch me do the psychic readings, I'm doing psychic readings. She's like, oh, okay. And so like, there was this boy and girl outside, you know. And I was like, telling her, oh, I was telling both of them psychic stuff for real. And I could actually sense around my cousin real quick a flash, a gold energy of my great grandma looking over her like the cool people, because that's all I ever saw her flirt over was the cool people in my family. And my great grandma just so happens to actually kind of be psychic, and I named my bird Claire after her. And my cousin, she says, if one of us has a kid, we'll get to name Clara. Like, you know what I mean? It's so funny. The first person who has a kid, girl, gets to name it Clara. Yeah, and if I have a boy, I'm gonna name it Clara too. I don't care if it's a boy or girl. I'll name it Clara. Yeah. So, anyways, well, yeah. So, children of the world, it'd be so funny. Okay. Okay, because we always wanted to plan that. Anyways, well, I was in front of her, actually, and I was, like, telling her, his girlfriend, after I told him about his mom, and I was right, and I said, did you spit out your gum and put it on the, stick it to the table and say, oh, that looks really pretty, and stuff? And she said, yes, I did, and I was like, oh, yeah, well, you were going to be with your friend, and you were on the balcony doing this and that, and I was just giving her psychic information left and right. It was all true. It was just like, oh, did you your friend Rebecca, which I had names correct. I was like, your friend Rebecca left her orange hoodie on your floor, on this side of the floor, and in this side of the floor. I swear to God, I was detailing her house, and I didn't miss one spot of what her room looked like in my freaking head. I am precise. I said what was on the floor and everything, and I was impressing the fuck out of myself, and I ain't kidding. I ain't lying. And I ain't sorry for using cussing because I'm profanity. This is real life. This is the word. Hello. And that's how fun I feel. But, you know, it does wear you out, and, you know, you get time to, it is a celebration. The whole thing is, being a psychic is a celebration. This is the greatest time of my life. Okay, and getting everything right, you know, and I'm precisely detailing horrific stuff because I want to know I'm really connected, and I do get connected, thank God, and free will, you know, and I was telling her exactly stuff like that. My cousin will witness it, and one day you'll see her, and maybe in an interview, and I'll be like, yep, this is real, and maybe I can do it. It's like reading around y'all one day, whatever, see you later, blah, blah. But yeah, this real life is true, my psychic life amongst the living dead. So stay tuned for more of the stories. Sorry it's all choppy and stuff, but it's my reality and in a flash on this camera, and there's a lot to think about in these stories and make them more clear. But there's a sample because there's so many of them. Thank you. Peace, love, and trust, and I love you in that experience. The end. Okay, part 2 again of my true events. Okay, left some meaningful stuff out. I was at the apartment in the house. You know, it was haunted and stuff with my friends, my best friends, and everything. She was asleep. I saw that spirit in here, and I also connected with their roommate. And we and her just had a session by ourselves, and I was like, she really trusted me to read her, and I was like really psychic, and I was like, wow, I had a whole bunch of readings, and I explained, oh, does your niece go to you and kneel on your lap all the time? And she's like, yeah, she does that, and like, well, she's doing that now, and she's dead, right? And she's like, yeah, she is dead, and I was like really picking up on her. I was like, she has like this reddish brunette hair, and it's straight down her shoulder blade, and I was telling her all this stuff of how she acted and how her behavior was, and that in spirit, you know, she's still the same way or whatever, I don't know, and it was all true, right? Okay, and she's like, oh, will you come at, and then we're like on the way, I was like, and then she showed me all these pictures on the wall of like every single person that I mentioned and all the people I haven't mentioned, so it was really true. And then, okay, we had such a good time talking about, oh, your family looks like this, that. And I really had like a seance in her room, just like 4 spirits above her floating in that same room, you know, where I saw that bald haired girl who died of cancer floating above my friend, um, you know, and while my other glorious best friend was sleeping. Jesus Christ, this is so hard to get done. You know, this is how it looks, floating around. And she said, oh, that was a girl that had cancer at church that I went to church with, and she had cancer. So, yeah, you know, I would pick up on all these spirits around my friend here, you know, and even Jesus, you know, this is the same house. So, this was one of our roommates, and I picked up on psychically our other roommate, and they had so many other roommates that came and gone. Okay. But, I was talking to her, and and she's like, when do you think I'm gonna die? I was like, did you get your gallbladder taken out? And she's like, yes, I did. And I was like, wow, I don't even know what a gallbladder is and stuff. And I just felt that she could live without a gallbladder because I have done psychic readings on people that didn't have a stomach. And I told them that, and I told my friend that she only had 1 kidney, and she really does. And I told her that her mom has 1 lung, and that's really true, and she really doesn't. She really does have just 1 lung, I mean, and I told her that her aunt even also has 1 lung. I did not know at all that you could live with 1 lung, and it was like one of my friends who was a Virgo that I gave a psychic reading to or whatever, and I always gave her psychic readings. It was really, really cool. I even told her when she got new glasses. I told her when she got new haircut stuff. But anyways, with this other girl I was in science with, whatever, when my psychic ability started to flourish, you know, and relationships with all these unique people that came and go in this house and the mall and just wherever, you know, I traveled to with my friends. I made friends, you know, it's the key. socializing. And she's like, when, and I was like, your mother was born, and I'm talking to your mother, she's dead, and she's rubbing your back, and can you see, and I can see her right now, and I did see her around this girl, and told her how she looked and how she talked, and I was like, wow, I'm really seeing her, and I really did. And then I told her, and she's like, when do you think I'm going to die? And I'm like, your mother's birthday is October 17th. She's like, yes, that's correct. And I said, she's telling me that you might even, she died on October 17th, or you might. And she's like, oh my God, she did die on her very birthday. She did. That's true. And I was like, really amazed by, there was a girl behind her rubbing her shoulder. And I was like, do you feel it? You know? And she's like, yeah, she would always rub my shoulder. And I was like, wow. And when I was in that Plaza Center, you know, my other psychic true events, psychic readings at a Plaza Center video, I want to let you know that oh God, I made a mistake on that one telling the story, and I wanted to get it cleared up. Oh man. But anyways, this is a true story. I told her that she might die on October 7th or something like that. She's like, well, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go. I'm going to go to where my home is and die there. And I have no clue, but we still have like a snowman that she sewed. It was really cool. Okay, well, I'm going to try to remember about that Plaza Center mistake. This is really cool information, but I don't remember right now. Yikes. See, anxiety sucks. Okay. This is true life events. Everything's real. Yeah. Hi, I'm Dashton, the demon vampire slayer, and you are history. I have more stories to tell you about my psychic experience. Okay, well, this story is really long. So I'm just gonna start out with, well, I just got out of the institution for something, and my accident, and like, well, I was like always against unhealthy things, you know, of course, and I was like, well, what could be more unhealthier than this, you know? I mean, might as well just go ahead and donate my plasma. Because I went with friends and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's unhealthy. I wouldn't do that, but it's so interesting because I never experienced anything like that. I was like, wow, I've always wanted to know what that was like, what that experience would be like. So I went ahead and donated my plasma. Maybe I get some money. So I went skating there. Every time I went, I did this. I donated my plasma 15 times. Yeah. And well, you know, and I ended up going there and doing psychic readings. Oh, it was the best place ever to go do psychic readings at the Plaza Center. So this is what happened. Here we go. So I went to the Plaza Center. The people that worked there had to check in so many times, and it gave me enough time to sit with people. And well, I was sitting there after I was checked and everything, getting my plasma by the girl who worked there, and I told her, I'm psychic and stuff. Yeah, I can pick up on things. And she says, well, what do you pick up on me? And I was like, well, are you an Aquarius? And she's like, yeah, how do you know? And I was like, well, because you act like Aquarius. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, I see, do you have a brother? And she's like, yeah. And and I said, did he pass away? And she said, yeah. Because he's showing me how he passed away and yada, yada, yada. And she's like, wow, you really are psychic. You are seeing something. And he's telling me this and that. I mean, he was literally talking to me, her brother. And I was like, wow, my first day of donating plasma. This is a good day. Yeah. And then later on, I was getting so obsessed with like, oh, I should donate my kidney, donate everything. Wow, this must be really good because I was like, wow. And the next time I got to go to the plasma center, you know, I only did this like 15 times, and every time I would give saccharines everywhere. I mean, left and right. And one time I was getting checked in again, and she was taking my blood, a little prick on my finger. And I was like, wow, you know what? You're really glowing today, more so than usual. Oh, I am, yeah. And because she was a Virgo, and I'm like, wow, Virgos are really, really readable. She's like, oh, they are? Okay. And well, the first person actually that I read here was a Sagittarius after, you know, like right, and I felt really clean after words. And it was really cool to finally get a psych reading because it's been so long. I've been waiting to do psych readings on somebody, and I was like, I had to do it on Sagittarius because they were so readable, always productive energy to read, and they always had a story behind all that energy. So I was relying on that, and Virgos are very, very, very readable. So here's this Virgo, and I was like, did someone just die around you, your cousin? And she's like, yeah. And and I was like, is her aunt moved in with you and you're like really happy with them? Yeah, she did. Her whole family did. Oh, really? Wow, that's a lot to take on after someone has died. And then and then I was like, did she die of this and that? And she was like, yeah, she did. Wow. And I was like, telling her how her family looked and even what her name was, her aunt, but I can't remember right now. Sorry. And it was just a miracle. And she's like, wow, you really are seeing somebody. You're a psychic. And I was like, yeah, your aunt is right behind you right now. And you're even brighter than your aunt. Like, so for some reason, that spirit is bright, but you're really bright. And she was that day. So I was like, wow. And I was like, you're right in front of her. She's like right behind you. She's like, oh, she is? I was like, yeah. And then she's telling me this and that. And I was like, oh, okay. And then, well, that's it. We gotta, you know, and she let me tell her, and I was like, okay, well, guess I'll let you get back to work. Da, 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 da. And then another time, everyone was sitting at the benches and stuff, or whatever, and I was like, some heavyweight girl was sitting at the bench right when I was getting out, and I was like, oh hey, and she's like, oh hey, and I sat with her, and I said, um. And I saw this girl floating around her, this blonde haired girl, and I was like, oh my gosh, is your mom alive? And she's like, yeah. And because I started out the conversation with like, what's your astrology sign? And or I'm gonna guess what your astrology sign is. And she turned out to be a Pisces. And I was like, is your mom got blonde hair and she looks like an 80s mannequin? Yes, how'd you know? And because she's floating above you. And then I was like, is your mom a Capricorn cusp Aquarius? And she's like, yes, you know something, she is on the cusp. That's what she always told me. How do you know that? And I was like, well, because she's floating right above you, and I'm psychic, and this is what I do. And apparently, wow, this is another good day doing psychic readings at the Plaza Center. The Plaza Center. Wow, something mystical about the Plaza Center. Anyways, and then all of a sudden, another time at the waiting room, there was this girl, you know, walking, and I saw her. There was that she was walking, and I could see an angel following her on her right side, and I was like, oh my God, guess what? I just saw. And she sat down. I said, I just saw an angel around you, and she's on your right side, and she's telling me she's always on your right side for some reason. I don't know why. She told me that. And then the girl said, oh, really? Oh my gosh. Um, I've got a tattoo on my right shoulder blade. Wow. And I was like, wow, that is so cool. And another time as a plaza center, when I was leaving, there was this girl, and I was like, oh, hey, what's your astrology sign? And she's like, oh, I'm a Virgo or something like that. And I was like, yeah. Do you have, and then I was like, do you actually have a sister, a twin sister? Uh, and and she's like, yeah, I do. And she looks just like you. And she's like, yeah, she does. She's my twin. I was like, wow, because I'm seeing a girl around you that looks just like your sister. Um, and I was, and she's telling me that she had something wrong with that you need to take care of your kidneys. And she's like, yeah, I do. And that's why I'm at the plasma center, because it cleans my kidneys, you know. It's like dialysis. And I was like, also she's telling me how she died, blah, blah, blah. And it was really true. And I was like, wow. And then I told her, your sister's, her name is Tracy. And she's like, yeah, that is my sister's name. And I was seeing her twin sister around her from the dead, for real. And she's talking to me, and I was talking to her back and forth, and it was really true. And then near the end, I was like, oh, bye, Tracy. Because I was really talking to her sister. I was like, yeah, that's my sister. I was like, oh, bye to you too. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Yeah. And she's like, well, it's my turn. I have to go donate plasma. They said to come in. And I was waiting. I was like, oh, okay. Well, see you later. And that was like one of the last times. And then like later on, I came down there again, and I was outside, and I saw this girl out there, and I was like, oh, hey, what's your star sign? I usually do psychic readings around here, and I'm going to see what I can do. Oh, okay. And then I started picking up on stuff from her, and I was right. I was right. I was so cool. And she's like, I'm an Aries. And all that stuff happened. It was just really amazing and interesting how all this stuff happened at the Plaza Center, and I only went there like 15 times to do that. And I went with my friends before in a waiting room, but I just waited on them to have their experience, and it's a really fun experience. Interesting how my psychic readings at the Plaza Center, which meant a lot to me, and a lot of other stuff happened too, but it's kind of personal, and I don't want to talk about it, and it would take up too much time, which it just did. So, well, thanks for listening. This really did happen, and there was more, but it's just, you know, how crammed. I just had to put that in there and for documenting it. It's amazing, and every time I went to Plaza Center, I'd do psychic readings, and then I went to an hour away, which in Fayetteville, to go to their Plaza Center, and I sat there to wait on my friend, and all of a sudden, there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people sitting around in the waiting room, and I guess all their astrology signs, and I told this girl, I was like, hey, are you a Leo? And she's like, yeah, how'd you know? And then I was like, hey, guess what his astrology sign is? And she said Scorpio, and I was like, oh, really? And I asked him, hey, what's your astrology sign? And he said, oh, yeah, I'm a Scorpio. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she just guessed you. Way, high five. And that was fun. Yay, high five. High five, high five. We were just having fun, and I was getting her psychic reading were correct, and tell her about how her mom was outside and had there's furniture outside in her mom's front yard, and she was yelling at her ex-boyfriend, and it was true about this and that, and I was like, well, yeah, y'all are broken up, and he still misses you, and blah blah, and this is why, and I was like getting it all right, and then I explained how her dad looked, how he was looked, and how the place that they used to live at looked. And it was just really cool. And then my stupid friend, he's like, well, we gotta go. People are staring at us. We gotta go. And I was like, what the freak? Stupid douchebag. I'm giving a psychic reading. I don't care what's going on or who's staring at me. This is real and this is rare. And it's like not many people are doing this. Like, hello. And nobody cares. No one's getting on to me. So shut up. Who cares if they're staring at me? Who cares if you're embarrassed? Blah, wah, wah. And I was just talking to her. I was like, and he's like, well, let's go. I'm going to be late. I got to go to school tomorrow. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, God. Okay, well, thanks for ruining my psychic reading. And I didn't get to finish. Bye. I was like, okay, bye, Leo, whatever. So mad. And because I was really getting good at that reading. And, well, you know, there's that. The end. The Plaza Center. Maybe one day I'll go there again and tell the actual story, or maybe get it recorded in the waiting room. Oh, yes. But, you know, you never know. You don't know if you're allowed to do that or not. But, like, I can if I'm in the waiting room, because people, you know, just film my friend. You know, it's not like anyone would know what atmosphere I'm really in at the time. But, oh, well, okay, that's one of my ratings real quick.